This week on Sport Fishing, we're fishing aboard the Clemente, and we left out of Dana Wharf a little while ago, and right now we're anchored over by San Onofre. You can see the nuclear power plant over my shoulder. And the plan today is to fish some hard bottom structure and right along the kelp beds, looking for calico bass. If we get lucky, maybe even a yellowtail or two. So stay tuned for this week's exciting episode of Sport Fishing. I'm Dan Hernandez, and I live to fish.
All right.
I have been fishing along the Pacific coast my entire life.
Oh!
Let me bring you in the action and share with you some great fishing tips along the way.
Oh, he's still there. Good. There it is. It's a sheephead. I'm glad you're in the
nice
jackpot.
sheephead.
Okay, 2 more turns and lift it straight back. There you go. Now go ahead and put your rod butt on the deck. And then you guard that rod so nobody kicks it while the hook's near my finger. Really good job.
Nice one, Drew.
Remind me of your number.
Number 7.
6? Oh, 7. That's right. Lucky 7.
We're down here just below San Onofre at the artificial reefs. They were put out here in the, I think it was around the 70s. What they are, a bunch of concrete telephone poles that were dumped out here. Hoping to try to get a few bass, sculpin, sheephead. Sometimes we catch some rockfish on here too. Best bet's been the red crab that we have here. Been making this down at the beach by the harbor and shallow at night. And these are the pelagic red crab. They're actually not even crabs, they're lobsters, squat lobsters. And this is what's down there in the water. They kind of float around and fish love eating them, especially when that's all that's in the water. Sand bass, calico bass, sheephead, they love eating these guys. And you can see they're basically just a mini lobster. That's all they are. And that's what's down there. Sculpin. Go ahead now. Calico bass.
I just threw out a fly line sardine, got bit. Let's see what I got here. Here it comes, little calico. Almost legal. So the skipper made a little move. We're a little bit farther south and just fishing fly line sardine, and I'm using a really thin wire circle hook, and that's why you see the fish hooked right here in the corner of the jaw. Here we go. Reach inside its mouth. There we go. Thank you. Nice little calico bass. So what we're doing right now, we're just using small wire hooks, fly lining, light line, no sinkers, and the fish are boiling on the surface. It's springtime, early part of June, and this is what we like to do here in Southern California, fly line to catch calicos.
For me? Yeah, we'll lift him up into the boat. Good job. Smile.
Hi, my name is Mike Schad. Welcome to the Cabrillo Marine Aquarium. Here at the aquarium, I'm standing in front of our kelp tank, which is an aquarium that shows you the kind of fish you find in a kelp forest right here off Southern California. One of the fish that everybody really identifies with is called a kelp bass or a calico bass. I think one of the reasons people like it is because it's beautiful. It blends in with the environment so readily. Calico bass, kelp bass are very common in our local kelp forests. They really are kind of an iconic kelp forest inhabitant.
Sure, it's legal.
Lighting me up. Same bass.
Stay right in my hand. Perfect. Real nice little fish. Thank you. 48. Thank you.
There we go. Fish want to bite now. Just fly lining those little sardines. There we go. It's a nice calico coming up here. Here he is. Nice calico bass. This is more like it. And the whole key to this is just fishing the live bait. The water's warming up here, and it's not quite as hot as it was last season, but it's getting there. And as the water warms up and we get nice sunny skies like this, the fish get more active and they start chasing the bait. So I'm going to take the hook out of this guy. I'm going to switch over to a little bit heavier mustad hook right now because there's a good chance now with all this activity we'll get yellows around. So I want to go to heavier hook, but we're going to go ahead and release this guy. So let's take a little break from the action here aboard the Clemente and go to the tackle box and give you a good look at the gear we're using for today's trip. Today in the tackle box, I want to talk to you a little bit about what we're doing today. Fishing aboard the Clemente, we're catching lots of calico bass. This is probably the best calico bass fishing bite I've been on in years, fishing locally along the coast. And we're just really whacking them. We're having a great time out there. And the fish are all over the live bait. Now today we have both anchovies and sardines. So you need to bring a selection of live bait hooks with you all the time. So the number one hook I like to bring is the 94151s. It's just a basic live bait hook. It's a little bit heavier wire. So if you hook a nice white sea bass or yellowtail, you won't have a problem. But if you want to go with a thinner hook, and you can on a day like today where it's all calico bass, you can go with this one. And this is the 9174 in black nickel again. It's a thinner wire forged hook. It's a little bit lighter in the water, a little bit easier for the fish to swim. It's great for the calico bass and the smaller yellowtail. But if you start seeing those bigger yellowtail, you really want to move up to the other hook. The 94151 works out really good for the bigger fish. You have both these styles of hooks with you in a wide selection of sizes. You'll be all set for this type of fishing. Well, let's get back on the water and show you more exciting action right here on Sportfishing.
Nice one, nice one. Probably too little though.
Just got bit, another nice sardine, and I just switched up to a little bit larger mustad hook, just in case there's yellows around. This isn't a yellow, but it should be a nice calico, and he's in the kelp. So I'm gonna just try to force him through the kelp, and if I can't get him in, I will put it in free spool and let him find an opening. There he goes, just forced him through a piece of kelp. And he's buried in there. Okay, so when this happens, what you want to do, put the reel in free spool and just give it line. Give it lots of line. And the only thing that's more upset about You know, as disappointed as I am, as that fish is in kelp, that fish is more upset about it. So what you do is just put it in free spool, let the fish find the opening for you in the kelp. So that should be long enough. And if it doesn't work, then you do it over and over. There we go. Got him out. Oh, here he comes, here he comes. Ooh, shaking his head. There he is right there, nice big bass. Big bass. Okay, here we go, I'm gonna bring him in. It's a nice calico bass. And you can see I just switched over to a heavier mustad live bait hook, and I did it just in time because that earlier hook I was using was a super thin wire hook and it wouldn't have held up. But I went with the 94151, and that's what you need for a bigger fish like that. It's a nice, beautiful fish.
We're gonna release him today?
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and release them. Let's go ahead and
Babe, grab my fish.
Sportfishing with Dan Hernandez.
Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
I just saw him bouncing up and down and you going back and forth. You full drag? Yeah. And then
Nice white sea bass on the Clemente.
Pliers in there? I got this part for you.
I'd rather
Okay.
take myself.
You got me.
It'll cut me.
I've already had that situation.
Yeah, you'll see my hand. Me too.
That's your number. Thank you. 13, buddy.
Nice quality calico bass.
there we go. So we've been catching so many calicos in this heavy kelp, and just about every calico I've got is wrapped himself in the kelp. I have to free spool it, let him find his way out. So I've switched to different gear. I've got 30-pound Spectra, and I'm using 20-pound monofilament. Here's my bass right here, nice fish. Here's my calico. So I'm just gonna go ahead and bounce them up. And that's the one switch I made is we're fishing lots of heavy kelp right in here, lots of kelp. Almost every fish you hook runs in the kelp. And I got this nice calico. You can see where the hook is on top of his mouth. That means he was looking up at the bait, came up and ate it. And I'm fishing a heavier hook because we caught that white sea bass already. And this is just the rig, a mustad hook, 94151, nice heavy wire hook, 20-pound fluorocarbon, and then 30-pound Spectra. Go ahead and release this guy. This week in the galley, we're back in San Diego with Domingo, and he's now with a new company called Fitrition, and he's going to do a dish for us. And what do you have in store for us, Domingo?
Today we have the heirloom tomato with the ceviche, shrimp ceviche.
And how do we get started?
We're gonna get started off with some avocados. We're gonna throw a little bit of tomatoes,
Orange.
a little orange. How hot do you like it?
It's never hot enough.
Oh, okay, perfect. We're gonna throw a little bit of mangoes inside too as well. We're gonna throw all of our cucumbers, break up some cilantro.
Okay.
Let's get mixing.
Okay.
Now we're gonna add the shrimp. A pinch of salt, tagine, squeeze a lime, this is more of a fresh salad for a nice hot summer day. For the tomato, you want to get a large tomato with a large base to it. You're going to want to cut around the tomato and use a melon baller to scoop out the inside. Just want to get a nice good mix, get a lot of juices from the inside. It's a very beautiful, colorful dish. So try to get all the colors inside the bowl. It's okay if it kind of comes over a little bit.
Well, Domingo, this looks great. I'm going to try it. And normally I would just dip in it with a fork, but since we have a chip, and it is a ceviche dish, that is really good.
Thank you, Dan Hernandez.
That's really good. For more information about Domingo, what he's up to now, you can go to his website, and it's fittrition.com.
Yeah.
All right, thanks a lot, man.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Well, let's get back on the water and show you more exciting action right here on Sportfishing.
Nice sand bass here.
Look at the bait behind us. Look if they're on.
Is it illegal?
Yeah, that's a legal fish right there, my friend.
Right here, right underneath.
What number are you?
11.
Look at the boat. Look at it swim.
11.
Hey guys, I want to talk to you a little bit about fishing live bait. The most important part about fishing live bait is picking a good live bait. So when you come to the bait well, don't reach in the bait tank because the deckhand captain will slap you in the hand there. Go to the bait well. So this bait well is filled up with red crabs. People are using those too and they're working. Right now I want to show you about fishing a sardine. So when you come here, don't grab it, just slide your hand underneath the bait. So you find a nice lively one here, just slide my hand, pin them on right here in front of the eyeball, and then work your way over to the rail. And then just cast it out. So just make a nice little cast. Now once the bait hits the water, I'm not going to just throw out line. I'm just going to put my hand right here on the line and just let the fish, as the sardine wants to swim, I'll give them line. But a good key on fishing live bait is a lot of people think it's just throw line out there to let it swim. No. You want to put your fingertips on the line and feel what your bait is seeing. If your bait sees nothing around, it's not going to ask for any line. If it starts seeing some fish swimming around, it's going to ask for line. When it sees a fish coming after it, the line's going to come ripping off your reel. There we go. See what this one is. Ate that live sardine, nice calico bass. There we go, nice big calico bass. This is just awesome fishing. This is what we're doing today here on the Clemente. Got that live sardine using a mustad hook, 20-pound test line, beautiful calico bass.
Nice one, Paul.
Of course.
Hey, Paul. Not as big as Jeff's white sea bass, but
Yeah, Jeff's walking home.
Got it?
A nice calico bass and fly line.
It is.
So my sardines out there, it's just got picked up. See the line coming off my reel. Just gonna pay attention to it, see what it does. He's there, he's taking line. So what I wanna do now is just put the reel in gear, wind down, and set the hook. There he comes. There we go. It's in the kelp, and hopefully the spectra, that's why I'm fishing spectra, will cut through the kelp. see what happens here. It's working its way through the kelp. That worked perfectly. Just wind in. And this is about as good a fishing as it gets for calico bass fishing. There's another one. Perfectly hooked, corner of the jaw. That's the way you want to do it. Just so much fun doing this type of fishing. If I could only pick one type of fishing to do every day, it would be this, calico bass fishing. Catching them on artificials, live bait, it's lots of fun. Okay, I'm gonna release this guy. Let's take a break from the action here aboard the Clemente. And when we return, I'll be giving you this week's tip of the week. For this week's tip of the week, I want to talk to you about how we caught these fish today. It was a really good fly line bait bite on the live sardines. And when you're fishing with live sardines, it's really important that you're using the right monofilament for leader or fluorocarbon and hook selection. Now, you never know what size hooks you're going to need, if you're going to have small anchovies for bait or the nice size sardines like we had today. So when you go fishing, you want to bring a nice selection of hooks. And that's why whenever I head out, I always have a wide selection of my must-add hooks, and I have everything from fishing the little red crabs we had today, to fishing anchovies, to sardines. You have to have a wide selection of hooks, so when you're out there fishing, you're ready to go. There's nothing worse than being all the way out here on the spot, fish are biting, and you have the wrong size hook. So always bring a tray like this with a selection of hooks. That's today's tip of the week. Well, I want to thank the crew, the Clemente, our Captain Corey, all the guys who did a great job. We had lots of fun. I'm Dan Hernandez, hoping you enjoyed this week's episode of Sport Fishing, and I hope you join us again next week as we go looking for more of the best in sport fishing.